actually larger, so I'm clearly your father.
But I have a lightsaber.
I'm not in the movie at all.
You'll be in no movie.
All right.
I'm just gonna.
Okay. Well, welcome back. Hopefully
Hi, guys.
You enjoyed your time. We clearly did. Yeah, just set that over there. Hopefully you entered into some good gospel conversations about Rogue One. It really follows the story of Christ in a really awesome way. Think about the world that they're in is broken, and the father figure sends the main character out to fulfill his preordained plan. I mean, that's literally like sin has entered into this world and it's fractured everything, and God, before the foundations of the world, had a plan to reconcile all things to himself through Jesus Christ and sent Jesus to fulfill that plan, right? Jin embarks on her journey later in life like Christ does. Jin calls a team together in a sort of way, just like Jesus draws the disciples to himself, right? When Jin meets Saul, she fully realizes her purpose and that she actually is the only hope of this aspect of the rebellion. In the same way, Jesus goes onto the mountain and is transfigured before the disciples, and they realize that she's the only hope. The rest of the team realizes it, right? On the planet Edo, she has this moment of atonement with her dad when she realizes that actually this is been his will all along, and she enters into that. In the same way, in the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus says, "It's not my will, but your will be done," right? The movie culminates and she willingly sacrifices herself to bring freedom from bondage to the many, in this exactly what Jesus does on the cross, right? She provides hope to the hopeless. I mean, Leia says we've got hope now, right? The powers of darkness no longer have control. It begins that whole story. Same thing is true in the gospel, right? C.S. Lewis says that the world is at war, and Jesus, when Jesus enters into a rescue mission into enemy-occupied territory, and that calls us to take part and participate in the campaign of sabotage, which is the whole rest of the story arc of Star Wars. What do you think?
Man, the parallels within this is awesome. The biggest one, obviously, is hope, where all the Star Wars nerds went crazy when, at the end, Leia shows up, and it's like, "He brought us hope. You're our only hope." That's definitely the overarching theme of this entire movie, and it's not just in Princess Leia and in the Rebellion, because if you remember, there's that one moment where the Dr. Lisp, the director Krennic, had character development in this movie drives me nuts. There's this moment where he is talking about the Death Star, and he goes, "No, this is going to provide peace and security to the entire galaxy." That he thinks that the hope is in completely oppressing everyone and under the threat of murder. And then even Jin kind of picks up on this later on, and there's that cool integral moment right at the end where they're discussing, are they going to go to Seraph? Are they going to have this kind of final last battle and do this? And Jin steps up and she says, if we give way to an enemy this big and with this much power, then we condemn the galaxy to an eternity of submission. Mm-hmm. She's like, the hope is not in this like evil presence. It's not in the Empire. The hope is somewhere else. It lies somewhere outside of that. And man, that parallels so much because the enemy provides this false sense of hope, this false sense of security, instead of a security that's truly going to last. But it's not without some major sacrifice that we see at the end, where Jin dies in order to bring this hope to the entire world. Christ dies in order to bring hope to the entire world. And so that theme of hope, I think, is huge throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, seriously. I think it's important for us to be aware of some of these themes in the movies because, I mean, if I don't know if you're like me, sin has this like lure and this pull. I mean, the Empire is cool and the Empire is powerful, and a lot of people like the Empire more than they like the Rebellion.
Yeah.
And I think that is super true of sin. We like what sin seems to promise us in immediacy and in the very beginning, but the issue is it never can actually fulfill what it says that it promises us.
Yeah.
The only thing that can actually fulfill and satisfy the deepest longing of our souls is Christ.
Yeah, and I think like that is another huge thing that for Jin, her whole purpose is this to be reunited with her father, and man, that's our purpose too. Like for us, this distance that's been created with our Father God, and what it means for us to truly be reunited with God the Father. This is the journey that Jin goes on through this whole time, and man, it's the journey of every living person here, Christian or non-Christian. Christians have had that kind of reunited moment with God, and man, if you haven't, I totally encourage you to talk with somebody in your small group tonight and see kind of what that looks like.
Yeah. Hope you had fun.
All right,
We'll see you
guys.
next week.